Welcome to Keeping Up with Trends. This is Fred Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. We're joined with our host, Sergio Davids. How have you been? How's it going? And what's on our agenda today?
Hey man, it's been rather interesting in Cape Town. Get this, we went from 29 degrees, 30 degrees, right? Well, Celsius for you anyway. So, piping hot to now it's pouring down with rain again,
Wow.
and like 10 degrees in the space of 2, 3 days.
Wow.
How
Sounds like
insane is that?
global warming.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like just yesterday, it's shorts and t-shirts, and now we're bundled up again like it's winter.
I heard there
So
was a
yeah.
crazy fire in Johannesburg. What's up with
Oh
that?
my goodness. No, that was, yeah, it's quite tragic. I think the death tolls are up to about 73 people.
Oh,
Yeah,
how did it
that's just
happen? It was like one of these multi complexes?
yeah. Look, Joburg has quite a lot of vacant buildings. So we've got a bit of a problem with squatters. So apparently there was a knocked over candle and someone had locked the front door, I believe. And yeah, I mean, probably most of them asphyxiated. So yeah, it's quite a hectic ongoing situation.
Oh, wow. My heart goes out to those people. It's
Yeah,
very tragic.
yeah. And back in Cape Town, I was actually going to chat to you about this, and I'm glad we're having this chat because I met one of our clients.
Oh,
Yeah, we had a giveaway for Trevor Noah's show. He's finally back in South Africa doing some shows. And yeah, part of our competition, I gave away some of our tickets and I got to meet our client. Well, one of our clients.
yeah, it's always nice to interact with the clients. I mean, we try to do as
Yeah.
much as we can here at CM Trading. The last time I was in was last June,
Yeah.
July of last year, and it was really a great opportunity to speak to people, to meet with people, to discuss trading on a one-on-one
Mm.
basis, just to allow people to have like a point of reference than just somebody on the actual screen.
Yeah,
Whether or not that'll
exactly.
happen again, it's up to you, Sergio. You can make it happen.
I'm trying. So about a few weeks ago, he actually started in August, right? And he was telling me that a few weeks ago he saw some of our content regarding Nvidia. And he spoke to someone on our trading desk and they recommended, they've got stocks, and things, and asked him what he'd like to trade. And he said he was doing his own research on, Nvidia, and looked at our content, and he was quite keen on that. And apparently he made quite a killing.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. That's why
That's
we're
what it's
here.
about. Yeah, and I was just thinking we were chatting about this, what, 2 weeks ago, and look at that.
No, I think
You
even
know?
earlier than that. Didn't we
Yeah,
do
yeah, come to think of it.
well, over a month ago
So
we spoke about it.
yeah, and he was talking about his portfolio, and it got me thinking. Like he told me about he's got Nvidia, he's into oil, he's got some gold, and he hasn't touched Forex yet. But it got me thinking about how important is diversification, in trading.
Okay, that's a fair question. All right, so there's multi levels to this. Um, first of all, you have to delineate whether we're talking about trading or investing,
Right.
because in trading you have a much shorter time frame that you're looking at. As an investor, you have a much longer time frame that you're looking for.
Sure.
So that's one of those two. That's one filter. Okay, if we were going to filter this out. Number two, I would say, are we talking about what type of trading are we talking about? We're talking about someone who's scalping, someone who's position trading. That would be the second filter. And also, the reason that would be a filter is because based on the type of trader you are, um, you would be at a certain age group. So
Okay.
you know, as we get older, we want to preserve our capital as much as possible and get a little bit more conservative because we don't have so many years to make back some of those losses.
Right. Right.
You always have to think defense before offense.
Hmm.
Um, And
Makes
so when
sense.
you're younger, yeah, you could be a little bit more aggressive. So that would kind of dictate what kind of assets you could trade based on, you know, what your time frames are. Okay. Um, but obviously, there's a couple of other factors that I would put into the fray. There's also money management decisions. If you want to be trading something that's so volatile, okay, you don't want to be doing it in such a high volume kind of environment so that you don't get hurt. Okay. I'm always thinking about, the downside risk. Okay. Before I
Yeah.
look at the upside risk. And I think that that's a healthy way to look at it. And that's the way I've been taught in trading the financial markets on how to look at it, because ultimately, you want to make sure that you're preserving your capital. So there's a few factors that are dependent. So, if you're in your 20s and you want to trade something like Bitcoin, or you want to trade something like Nvidia, okay,
Right.
that's a little bit more aggressive. Then yeah, go ahead. You can make back some of those losses. You have time to. But if you're 70 years old and you have a retirement fund and you took some of the money out of that in order to trade the markets, I'd say, hey man, take it easy. Okay, let's
Okay, makes
go,
sense.
go to something a little bit more conservative. And there are things right now that are trading that are more conservative, like Cisco. Who would have thought Cisco made new highs for the year of 2023? And Cisco is not a high flying stock. It doesn't go, you know, something more than, 60 to 70 cents per day. But you string those 60 to 70 cents a day for like a week, and you got a
Yeah.
decent move. And you could trade the much larger size.
That's quite interesting. You always think of it as a once off. I'm going to put my money in, hopefully get some upside, and that's that. But you're
Also,
talking about what? Day trading, um, well, the same stock.
there's multiple levels when you're looking at trading. It's not just, two-sided. There's multiple levels that you have to consider when you're entering a trade, for sure. And that's really the key to trading success. Not the signals, not when do you enter, not anything else. It's all really about, putting it together in such a fashion that you're thinking a little bit defense, and you're considering the offense, but you're taking defense initially as your
Yeah.
first consideration.
Minimizing your risk.
For sure. That's,
Okay.
that goes without saying.
And I guess one of the big things, specifically, for the US economy, we've got the NFP coming up, and it's probably
Oh,
going
the
to be
good
quite a
old
big one.
NFP.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've had chats about this before, right? But, when I look at NFP, I think about, you know, the US dollar, right? Jobs are going to go up, US dollar, will strengthen, jobs are down, USD drops, right? So, what are the trading opportunities we can expect, around the NFP?
So also, the NFP is not like just a single event. It incorporates a lot of economic data, which is really very important. It incorporates economic growth, inflation. So it's not just how many jobs were created in the previous month. It's really gives us a sense of, what's going on in the market on a real, pulse level. Also, most importantly, GDP. It's nice that people are busy at work, but we want to see that there's output also on the
Yeah,
bottom line. And that's really um, the NFP's all encompassing data, that it's just the data of the month, right? I mean, for a while we were looking at inflation numbers, those were really the important numbers, or the FOMC rate statement, okay, which are also very important numbers. But the NFP is, one of those classic type of numbers that you could probably bet your dollar that there's going to be some kind of volatility no matter what happens, or what the news comes out.
yeah.
And generally speaking, it's not just the Euro USD that I would look to trade. Actually, I wouldn't even trade the Euro USD. I'd put
Really?
that aside. Yeah. Like, you're looking for something that is most reflective of the U.S. economy. So what asset would that be, Sergio? Putting you on the spot here on podcast.
Most reflective. I mean, apart from what? Well, like you said, the currency. I'm thinking about indices then,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. The New York Stock Exchange, the Dow Jones, the Dow Minis, the S&P 500. Those two are the most important ones. They
Right.
reflect bank
But
stocks. They reflect the financial sector, and that's really those are the most correlated. So that's what I would look to trade.
okay, so you'd focus on the indices, but can we not look at something a little bit more? How can I say? I'm trying to figure out if it's employment figures, right? Then obviously the job sector and which sectors could be affected. So what I'm trying to say is if jobs are up, right? Could we not see a breakdown of which specific sectors increased, and then we could base trades on that? So if hospitality's gone up, there was a boom in jobs there, or tourism, or tech.
So here's the problem when the NFP comes out. What time
Yeah.
does it come out? It comes out at 8:30 in the morning, New York time. The
Yeah.
U.S. markets only open up at 9:30. So there's not a like, and only those people that have a level 3 trading desk can actually access those listed stocks and trade those listed categories
I
before the
see.
market opens. So you are limited, okay, in all intents and purposes. But again, after hours trading, you can trade the Dow, which is a future contract, which trades 24 hours a day. So that is available for you to trade. So yeah, you're right. Okay. When there is a positive NFP, usually the banks rally,
Yeah.
or when there's an FOMC rate statement, the banks rally, right? And you can see that clearly. And then you could also trade bonds, which we don't have yet on the system. Okay, we'll hopefully down the line evolved into getting bonds and options and other asset-based symbols that you'd be able to be exposed to as well, and you could use them also for hedging purposes. So
Yeah.
I want to say that you are available to trade the Dow Jones. That gives you an availability. Um, However, trading the greater market at that time, I don't know would be so validating, because when the market actually opens, we saw this last week with Nvidia, right? It beat its
Right.
earnings, guidance was higher, and what happened the next day?
I remember we chatted about this. I mean, I was all ready for sky high trading, and yet it actually went down.
Right, it went down because the market already took it into consideration. I don't know why it went down. I mean, it's back up to where it was before the announcement, and it's closer, and it's actually higher before the announcement.
Yeah.
But it's not at the height of where it was at the top of when the market opened it up to. It didn't hit $500. It's at 492, and it gapped up from 482. So yeah, it's higher
And
than
dropped
we
down to
agreed.
460. It's
Yeah,
just
but it gave you that opportunity, right?
right.
So if I was a market maker, okay, I want to shake all you guys out and get it at the cheapest price possible. Then I'll take it back up because I want to buy it. I need to buy it,
Right.
right? So it's the same thing when you're trading the NFP. Like how the market reacts to it and what is reality is sometimes, two separate things.
It's just always interesting for me that there's a lot of background, action going down, especially
What's
with some of the bigger players in trading.
what do you mean?
Like you were saying, if you're a money maker, you could just force the price down, and I mean, you wouldn't be the only one doing that. You know, the
I mean,
lower the
these are
price
major
goes for
financial
these.
institutions. This is
Yeah.
not like, CM Trading doing this.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
companies that could step on CM Trading, buy it, close, sell it, buy it, close it. These are mega billion-dollar
Yeah.
companies. But it's the game that they play. They're really good at it, and they
Yeah.
know that they're really good at it.
And I guess finally, what advice do you have for traders this week?
So this NFP is going to be very important. We are going into a period of time in the markets where we're kind of hoping that the Fed interest rate hikes has actually kind of quelled any kind of fear about inflation.
Hmm.
So that's what we're hoping for. So if there's more jobs being created, that means that the markets are really starting to react to the Fed's decision, and
Positively.
yeah, and that means we could lower interest rates moving forward.
That's awesome to hear. And I think on that note, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much, Fred, for all your awesome and valuable advice.
Thank you, Sergio. See you next time.
Cool. Cheers, man.
Cheers.